Food waste intro. This video will be a summary of Group B148's P2 project. This short video will go through the various processes used and the knowledge we acquired during the project period. Food waste is a problem in our society and countermeasures have started coming up. This project will develop an app with the aim of affecting people's lifestyles in order to limit food waste. The background research started with us reading the supplied material that we needed to include in our project. From this, we then made an initial problem formulation that goes like this. How can a mobile application help reduce food waste? With this initial problem and the aim of finding a relevant target group in mind, we started to find more sources. This knowledge led us to choosing a target group that sounds as following. University students in the age between 16 and 34 who are living alone. We chose students purely from a resource perspective, since they would be easier to get to participate in our units and our later evaluation. With the background research done, we went out to make our units. For the units, we wanted to know more about our participants and their context in relation to food waste. This meant that we went out to their homes and took photos of their fridges, freezers and cupboards. After this, we interviewed them on their habits when it came to planning, their shopping and food consumption. This taught us that most students were very spontaneous in their meal and shopping planning. This also meant that most of their waste was in forgetting when their food went old or buying something they already had due to their spontaneous nature. We also found that our participants were not actively trying to limit their food waste, but all of them wanted to do so because it was the right thing to do. Problem formulation. Now having done our background research and knowing our target group context, it became time to make the final problem formulation. Our final problem formulation became: how can a mobile application help students from the age of 16 to 34 who are living alone with reducing their food waste by giving them an overview of their food inventory? Furthermore, we made the following criteria. The app should help the user remembering when their food became too old. It should bring down the number of times they buy something twice. It should be easy to use as to not demotivate the user from using it. And finally, it should help them confirm how much food they waste. Design and implementation. With the problem formulation and criteria done, it meant that we could start the design process. We used the 10x10 method for sketching the app and coming up with features. After 4 sketching rounds and some feedback from our target user on layout and features, we came up with the app shown on screen. The app had a screen with the user's food inventory that showed various data on the food item, an add item page where the user could change category and storage method, as well as set the expiration date of the food item. An overview screen with the ability to quickly add items from specific favorited categories, a statistics page with stats on the user's food waste, and finally a settings page where the user could manage different aspects of the app. Evaluation. Now with the application done, we could start evaluating the success of the project. We did this by using the system usability scale and a field test with a follow-up interview. In the SUS test, we had the participants use the application and gave them a scenario to perform. In the field test, we gave the application to the participants and asked them to use it for 5 days. Results/discussion. After the field test was completed, we gathered up the results and started analyzing them. The results showed that the app was easy to learn but very cumbersome to use. Most participants said that this was due to the large amount of categories they had to scroll through, as well as the lack of a search function for these categories. Therefore, the participants would not use the app in its current state beyond this evaluation. Conclusion. In the end, the results showed that an improved version of the application had the potential to reduce food waste. However, the application in its current form is too cumbersome to use, and therefore the users found it easier to just use pen and paper.